Mark Salamango with a fresh haircut and a new report for the week. I only made it to 3 sessions this week. I'm still experimenting with days off for recovery and incorporating my normal body weight workouts on off days. It's a balance. I'm addicted to learning more, but I don't want to let my strength gains go. I'm settling into the strategies for learning some technique and principles. The 2 structured classes I went to this week were excellent. Drilling. The best thing for me is drilling the same basic things over and over. They say repetition is the mother of skill. Then on Friday, I got a chance to put it all into practice. Open mats rolling. I felt great during the week. The Monday session focused on side control and side bottom. I've learned to hate side bottom. Wednesday was about turtle. So I went into Friday with the plan of crushing it in both of those positions. The plan. I figured I was pretty good at the side bottom thing, so if by some chance I ended up there, I was going to be okay. After all, I was doing it pretty well on Monday against a guy who was also just drilling. Solid plan. Maybe the perfect plan. So inevitably, I'm rolling with a blue belt on Friday, and of course he gets me in side control. I thought, okay Mark, you have a plan, make it happen. I tried technique 1. That didn't work. Tried technique 2. Nope. Technique 3. Not so much. About this time I was exhausted and panic was setting in. At that point, he had been cranking on my neck and putting all his weight on me for what seemed like minutes. I was struggling to breathe and knew that air in my lungs was important, so I tapped. Yeah, I tapped because basically a dude had all his weight on me. It reminded me of when you're a kid and a bigger kid's on top of you and they start hitting you with your own hands and say, why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Over and over as they pummel you. Alright, so it wasn't that bad. Did I lose? Technically. But I guess I also learned a few things and I want to share those with you now. It turns out there is no perfect plan. In the 1800s, Helmuth von Moltke the Elder said no plan of operations extends with any certainty beyond the first contact with the main hostile force. Besides having an awesome name, there's some wisdom there. Paraphrased, it's usually said, no plan survives first contact with the enemy. I had a plan going into the roll, but it was quickly neutralized. The Sun Sentinel did an interview with Mike Tyson in 2012 where they asked him about the origin of a quote he famously stated. He said, "People were asking me before a fight, what's going to happen?" They were talking about his opponent's style. He's going to give you a lot of lateral movement. He's going to move. He's going to dance. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. And that's when Tyson said, everybody has a plan until they get hit. Then like a rat, they stop in fear and freeze. Everybody has a plan until they get hit. I've also heard that he said everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. I like that one best. Because it's true. It's true in Jiu Jitsu, it's true in business, it's true in life. That's not to say one shouldn't plan, but if we know that plans are dependent on our environment, there's a subtle change we need to make. As Dwight D. Eisenhower said, plans are nothing, planning is everything. Planning is the important part. It needs to be continual. Likely things won't go our way the first attempt, so we have to adapt. Continue the cycle of plan, do, check, act. Plan, do, check, act. Sometimes things are just not going to go according to the goals we talked about last week. Your plan won't work and you'll have setbacks. Maybe it will be injury, sickness, issues with a job, or something else. I think my mini failure is going to stick with me for a while, not because it bothers me, but because there's a lot to learn there. No one's journey goes perfectly smoothly. Now, I hope I don't lose anyone here, but there's a Bible verse that I love. I don't actually have many memorized. I need to memorize more, but there are a few that I pull from when faced with certain circumstances in life. And this one is from Romans 5:3. It says, "We rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who's been given to us." We should rejoice, it says. That's why I don't look at being tapped as a bad thing. I rejoice because I know that I will be better because of it. Now, I don't want to compare getting tapped by a dude lying on me with a family member who has cancer or something like that. The idea here is that there's a process of change. Not that trials or failures are pleasant, but they produce a step-by-step transformation that makes us who we are. And for Christians, our hope is that it makes us more like Jesus. It's a continuous cycle of improvement. Did I mention that my gym is called Kaizen Brazilian Jiu Jitsu? Seems like a good fit for me since Kaizen is the Japanese philosophy of continuous improvement. In my example, I learned some things that didn't work. I also learned that I need to work on side bottom position and perhaps work harder to not end up in that position. So maybe I can convince myself that it was a win. The real win is learning to keep planning. You plan, you do the plan, you check to see if the plan is working, then you act or adjust, meaning that if things are getting better, you keep going. Otherwise, create a new plan. I stopped planning when I gave up. I had my plan of the 3 techniques, and when they were exhausted, I stopped the cycle. Until next week, I hope you'll keep planning, taking your next steps in whatever you're working on. If you're interested in my jiu-jitsu journey, fitness, music, health, business tips, or even my review of products, please subscribe and I'll do my best to keep high quality content coming your way.